Alrighty, welcome everyone to Stammer AI Office Hours. We are going to be going over some of the latest updates today. So for everyone that is watching the replay on YouTube, which is I think most people nowadays, which is great, definitely take a look in the information in the description down below because all the links and resources are going to be available there. I always like to start these meetings off by doing a little bit of housekeeping and mention all of our support options because this is really important to us to make sure that all of our customers are supported and get all their questions answered in a timely manner. So, of course, we have a link to our weekly office hours, which, of course, anybody can join and ask questions and get help and get feedback. We also have our daily support call, which is probably one of the most popular things that customers have told us that they really enjoy. Myself and co-founder Tim are on these calls every day, Monday through Friday from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST. So about 30 minutes after these office hours calls. And then, of course, we have all of our links to our roadmap, changelog, Discord, submitting support tickets, documentation, all of our tutorials and everything like that. You can find all of this on the support tab. You can also find this at Stammer AI/support. So all of this information is available to you. Another quick item I'd like to mention is our updated course material. So this is a free course with information that we have compiled over the last little while. Let me just bring this up, /course. So this is all the information that we've compiled about what makes a successful AI agency. So this goes over things like how to find clients, generate leads, run sales meetings, sales calls, how to create and control your sales pipeline, everything that's kind of surrounding this concept of building out your AI agency. So this is quite useful for everyone to get started. It's totally free. You just put in your name and your email and you'll get access to everything right away. So that's all of the general kind of support materials. Of course, you can always email us directly and we'll get back to you. But the fastest way to get a response is to submit a support ticket or join one of our daily support calls. So that being said, we're going to go over one of the updates that's going to be coming out early next week. So, and this is going to be this is going to be for all existing and new customers, but this is going to be an update that really simplifies everything as we continue to move into our voice module that we've been getting feedback on now for the last couple of weeks, which is great. We're making our revisions. So this will be out for everybody fairly shortly once we wrap up some of that feedback and those from our early beta customers. The idea here is we're trying to simplify everything related to billing. And this is one of the things that a lot of people have questions about when they first get started is how much do I charge customers for a subscription? How much do I charge them for usage? How much do I charge for setup fees and all that type of stuff? So last week we went over, and you can find the recording from last week's office hours down below. Last week, we went over how we've updated the SaaS configurator. And so the SaaS configurator is now built out with pretty much everything, all of the same features as it was before previously. But now it's organized in a little bit of a simpler fashion to help people understand kind of how to run through the different settings here. And of course, this is going to include AI voice agents once we get that pushed as well. The main thing that we're going to be discussing today is an upcoming change to how chat message rebilling is going to be done. So as of right now, in the we'll call the legacy version of chat message rebilling, the cost per message is a static cost, and you as the agency are setting a static cost for your customers to pay per message. Now, this is a cost per message for a standard sized message. And basically what that means is there's a certain amount of information that is given as an input and a certain amount of information that is given as an output. And those figures roughly equate to 3,500 tokens of input and about 100 to 120 tokens of output. Now, a token is basically an amount of characters of text, and all of that information comes from the chat agent prompt. And I'll show you an example. It comes from the chat agent prompt that you enter in here. And it also comes in from the knowledge base search results that have been added to provide the context to the AI agent so it knows how to respond. So all this information is compiled together to create the input that is sent to OpenAI or Claude or Grok, and then that information is then used to generate its response. So on average with our platform, about 95% or higher messages will fall under this 3,500 tokens threshold. If if a message from one of your clients goes over this threshold, you might have seen a little notification in the bottom left-hand corner that says, hey, you have an AI agent that has gone over that threshold. And in order for the AI agent to work properly, you need to add in your own API key. And that was a short-term fix while we basically developed this longer-term solution, which is what we're calling is usage-based billing. So if we go into the new version of the SaaS configurator that will come out in about a week, we can see that it's very similar in terms of the numbers of cost and price and profit. But instead of setting a static amount, a static price per message, we are going to be enabling a slider that allows you to set a percentage markup. And so this is going to allow for a scalable profit while maintaining a consistent profit margin for all messages of all sizes. And so the benefit of this is basically three main things. The first is that as an agency, you can be confident in the pricing that you're giving to your clients, knowing that you're always going to be in the profit because you're going to set a markup percentage. That percentage will be applied to all the different AI models, and that margin will be your profit for every message. So if you're getting charged 1 cent, you're charging your customers 2 cents, you're profiting about 1 cent. And that's basically the exact same as what it was here. You're getting charged 1 cent, you're charging your customers 2 cents, and you're making about 1 cent in profit. And so the way that we're going to be rolling this out is when we roll this out, the system is going to automatically look at your existing subscription packages. And so, for example, let's say I'm using this one as my default model, this GPT-4o. So the system's going to automatically look at your default model, and it's going to look at what you have put in as your static price for your customers. Our system is going to then calculate the correct profit margin percentage based off of this number that you have already added in. And then we are going to automatically enable that exact profit margin for you in your subscription packages. And the goal of this is when this change has been enabled, you don't have to go in and change anything in any of your subscription packages. You don't necessarily need to update your customers and say, oh, now your messages are going to be, X more expensive because the markup is going to be the exact same as it was before. So your cost will be the exact same. Your customer's price will be the exact same. Everything's going to be the exact same. And this is all going to be within the average of the average cost per message. And again, that's roughly about 3,500 tokens. Now, if a customer has a message that is a very simple message, like, is your logo blue, for example, and if they ask the agent that type of question, and the response that comes in from the AI agent is simply a yes or no answer, that question and answer pair is going to be far less than 3,500 tokens. So in that scenario, in that case, your customer will actually get charged less than 1 cent per message. So in some cases, your customers will actually get charged less, but you're not losing any money on that because your margin stays the exact same. The margin is always going to be consistent regardless of whatever the cost is to your clients. Now, on the flip side of that, let's say you have a customer that is wanting to make an AI agent that is writing out full blog posts using something like Master Chat. Now you can be assured that your profit margin will work on those types of use cases as well. So, for example, if they're sending a lot of information and generating a lot of output from the AI agent, that will cost those customers a little bit more than 1 cent per message. And that logically makes sense. If they're generating a ton of more content, then that will be costing them a little bit more. And it's all going to be done at the per token price. So the way that this cost gets established is by what OpenAI charges us, and then we charge you, and then you charge your customers, and then you make a profit. And everything is going to be automatically set based off of this margin. So the other alternative to this is you can still go for all existing customers. You can also still go into your vault and add in your own OpenAI API key, and you'll still be able to set a markup percentage. And that will allow you to allow your customers to have unlimited usage of the platform, and your cost will be a little bit less than what it shows here. So depending on whichever use case you want, the goal of this update is to no longer have any restrictions on the size of the message, nor on the potential profit that you can make as an agency. All of those will now be fully open for whatever use case that you or your clients want to do. So this might be a little bit confusing. There's going to be some links down below to some FAQs. There's going to be some documentation and some other video tutorials about how all this is going to work. The main goal of this, though, is we wanted to make this update as simple as possible for agencies to understand and be able to engage their customers with. So our hope is that when we push this update, everything for the majority of our customers stays the exact same. And if you have a customer that is sending or using a lot of or super large messages, then they are going to be charged accordingly. And of course, you make more profit for those messages as well. So in this concept of a markup percentage is how we're structuring everything with voice as well. So with voice agents, you'll be setting a markup percentage on reselling phone numbers, reselling AI voice agents, reselling cost per minute for usage with the phone agents. All of that will be done with a markup percentage, which is going to allow you to control your profit margins much more consistently across all these different types of items that you can sell to your customers. So that's pretty much the update for the markup percentage. Again, this will be going out at the end of the week, early next week. You'll be getting some emails and communication from us with more information regarding the FAQs and all of that information. So stay tuned for all of that. And of course, you can always join our daily support calls if you have any other questions or any other comments about how we could make this work better for you. Drew, anything you'd like to add there?
I think you covered it just as a super easy summary. If you're an existing agency, your margins, you should not have to do anything in the back end. And then if you guys do have questions, join our support call Monday through Friday, 2:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be on there to answer any questions.
Yeah, perfect. Alrighty. Well, I think that will do it for today's office hours. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below, or like Drew said, join our daily support calls. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone, and take care. Talk to you guys next week.